This podcast is sponsored by Relevant. It's a new iOS app to consolidate the media you want to see in a place you control. With Relevant, you stay up to date with things you're actually interested in. You tell Relevant what's relevant to you, and you'll be given all the content you love from all across the internet, all in one place. It's available on iOS devices and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevant.
What's up, everybody? It's the poorly edited podcast coming at you live from WXLV, the X, at El Tri-C, Maine. I'm your host, Chandler Davis. I'm joined here with our other lovely hosts.
My name is Storm Hutchinson.
Dude, no way, my name's also Storm Hutchinson.
Wow, nice to meet you.
So, Storm, how is... No,
my name is Coffee Guy.
My name's Storm Hutchinson.
Oh, dude, you can't do the joke twice in a row.
Patrick Lilly.
And we got Josh Brennan on the camera this week. He's got some new gear that you can't see, but it looks really official.
He's also the world's greatest grandfather, I've heard.
Yeah, he's wearing a shirt that says the world's greatest grandfather. Why? I don't get it. You're not a grandfather.
I think he got 99 cents, is that right? At Kmart?
That's worth being a grandfather for. Would you be a grandfather for 99 cents?
For sure.
No.
No?
It's going to cost you a lot more than 99 cents in the long... Well, I guess you don't have any financial obligations when you're a grandfather.
That's not true.
Don't you live somewhere when you're a grandfather?
Well, I didn't say... Well, I meant like to the kid, you know?
What kid?
Like never mind. Let's move on.
There has to be a kid now? All right.
I just want the shirt, man.
I think it'd have a really bad return on investment. That's my personal problem with it. But... what's been up this week? What have you guys been doing?
Well, we went on a date with Josh's room.
That's true.
We really liked the room. It was nice.
We had a shoot at... So we're starting a new show on the channel that we post these videos on, the podcast videos, our main channel. We're starting a new show. Josh Brennan pitched, and we recorded a few episodes of it over the weekend, and it was super fun, and it was the first time I think any of us have been at Josh's residence, and his room and area is very nice. He built his own studio with his two hands, and it's so cool, and it makes any battle station setup that you think you might have at home with your cool computer and desk look just child's play, like a Fisher-Price computer and desk setup.
Yeah, I spent at this point I probably spent $1,000 total on my computer,
Mm-hmm.
and it was two different builds. But when I got home and sat down, I was like, this just isn't the same.
Yeah,
good.
I walked into my room and I just sat on the edge of my bed crying, looking around at how underwhelming and not cool everything was in comparison. Josh built everything out of plywood and stuff, and put a lot of hot glue, and it's works, man. It's sturdy. It was a great environment to shoot in. I can't wait to post the videos out.
5 of us fit behind that desk.
Yeah,
kind of crazy.
Yeah,
as comfortably as 5 people can.
Yeah,
which is not very, especially when 2 of those 5. No, we're all pretty tall. None of us are short. We're all on the taller side. Pat's abnormally freakishly tall, as well as Josh, and you and I are normal size. Lizzie is tall for a female, and she was there. Well, moving on.
How tall are you, Lizzie?
5'8".
Wow.
5'8".
That's as tall than you are, isn't it?
No, I'm 5'10".
Ooh,
so close. I'm 5'9" and a half, but we're not. It says 5'10" on my driver's license because I don't do halves. What?
Why didn't you tell me?
I'm sorry. Yeah. So the shoot went well, and then we also saw a film.
Yeah, we did. We saw...
Speak for yourselves.
I almost said we saw Baby Driver.
We saw Baby Driver.
I did see that one.
We haven't talked about that yet, I think. No, I'm just kidding. Pat, unfortunately, you didn't get the invite. You were busy with better things to do.
I think you decided I was busy, though.
Wow. Uh-oh. What does that mean?
I don't know. I got invited. I think I saw you the next day, and you're like, oh, that's why you weren't there. I knew I forgot to invite somebody.
That I do remember saying that to you, to your face. Yeah, I apologize for
In
that.
your defense, though, I was busy that night, so.
See, that made me feel better.
Yeah, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah, but I think we'll we could talk about
I
that.
watched a review on it, so like I'm.
Oh, really?
up
So
to
you're like,
speed.
well, you spoiled the whole movie for yourself.
What was the? I feel like I didn't have to spoil it. I feel like I knew the ending already.
What's the ending, dude? No, I'm just kidding. It just came out. No, don't do that. It's a new Steven Spielberg flick, and there's a lot to unpack in it. It's very nostalgia based, very nostalgia heavy, relying on a lot of like pop culture stuff. That if you
We didn't actually say what it's called. It's called Ready Player One.
oh, we didn't.
Oh, I
No.
was talking about a
I
different.
thought you were reading our minds. Sorry. Pat, what movie did you watch a review
I
of?
was joking.
It's like E.T. I thought
E.T.,
I was
yeah.
confused
That
which
came out,
Steven
right?
Spielberg movie it was.
80s story, right?
But yeah, there's a lot of like pop culture packed into it, and things that I feel like if you're not that there's some references that are just totally out of the way. Like there's a Bonsai Buckaroo reference. I'm like, who saw that movie?
The references do have a depth though. So
Yeah.
if you only are like sort of into that sort of stuff, you'll pick up on some of it, and I think you'll still feel satisfied. But if you like really are hardcore into all of that stuff, then you'll pick up on all of it. I do want to talk about it later. We can just like give a tease of how we felt about it maybe now. Or
I have a very, very complex set of emotions towards this film. Elizabeth and I talked about it for about an hour and a half in my car after we saw it, and we left you guys. And I just sat there just picking it apart pretty relentlessly, trying to work myself through. I have this like very long period after I see a movie where I have to like cool down and like really think about it. So I was thinking about it the whole ride home, and then it was like, marinating in it.
unless something blows me away, I'm the same way too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, like the people who ask, like, what'd you think, like, before you're even out of the doors?
Yeah, no, like I don't chill, man. I don't even know where I am right now.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I gotta process this, dude. I feel like if you've formulated your opinion before you, like, right as it ends, and you haven't like put any thought into it, it might not be too solid of ground to base it on.
Yeah, whenever we walk out and someone's like, "That was pretty good," I'm like, "That's pretty forward." I don't know. I
Hey,
haven't gotten nearly that far yet in my thought process.
we're moving a little fast, all right? I didn't know it was gonna be like this. Except for when we saw The Last Jedi. Now I knew I'm just we're not gonna talk about The Last Jedi.
I also think you're lying about that.
Lying about what?
There's no way you had your opinion on The Last Jedi prepared as you left the theater.
No, no way.
I did. I knew pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it wasn't as fleshed out, but my opinion of it didn't change later.
I actually was talking about it in the car in the parking lot of the theater, the premiere night, and I was talking about it with my friend that I saw it with, and as I was progressing through the conversation, working through it, I was starting to realize all the things I didn't like. Like, I came out of the theater and I thought I liked the movie, and then as I'm talking to him about it, I start to realize that there's nothing good that I'm saying about it, and I'm picking it up, and so I'm like, oh, I don't think
You want to get into that for Pat's sake?
Yeah.
Like,
Let's
what
delve in.
didn't you like? What did you like?
Let's really dig in. I actually had the same thought process about Last Jedi.
Is it in the future or the past?
oh no, we can't resurrect that.
Well, that story is it doesn't matter, and who cares?
Well, I don't know.
Is it a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away?
All right, no, this is too much even for me. We're not going here. No.
So we have a special guest that's on their way who's caught in traffic because most of the guests that physically come here usually are like students or live very close in proximity. So there's never been like a time where they're like late, but this person is coming from reasonably far away and has gotten caught in like school bus traffic
It's the worst.
from after school and all that. Yeah, it's pretty awful. So as we await their arrival, I will say that we are going to be talking to someone who, as long as they show up,
At this point, we don't know.
are going to be talking to someone from the military. Probably at this point, briefly, it's going to be like, so how was it? Like, good. And that's going to be it. And now Coffee Guy's leaving as well. So it's even less
It's a
people.
one-on-one show now.
So just you and I,
What were
we're
your
just going to
thoughts
gaze
on
into
The
each other's
Last
eyes.
Jedi?
Let's really unpack this.
No.
Yeah, so we did I think I want to bring up during the shoot that we did for the video game stuff we played. What? Is someone there?
Someone just knocked.
Did someone just knock on the door? It's a very formal process.
I'm crazy.
When we did this shoot, we played some video games that were really funny. You weren't there for the last one.
The last one was a gem.
The last one was a real gem.
I'm glad I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But we played Lovers. What is that called?
Lovers in a Dangerous Maze Time.
A Dangerous Space.
Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time.
Which was really good, and I recommend that actually as a co-op game if you're looking to get into that.
Very much fun.
Yeah, and then we played. Nuclear Throne was so not memorable to me.
I really like that game, and I'm really bad at it too. But Josh and I were so much better than you were.
Oh, for sure.
What are you talking about right now?
What do you mean? What are you talking about? We just did better. We made it farther. I made it to the Bad Bandit like 4 times.
That's true.
That's because
Big Bandit.
All right, man. Well, moving on. And then we played Judge Dredd, which was really fun.
We put it.
A very old, like
game?
2001 game. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to count.
What is that game? I don't know what it is.
It's a first-person shooter where it's, Judge Dredd world, how it's in the future, and crime is rampant. They live in super cities, so it's just like it's very densely populated.
It's not very good source material.
No, I think.
You think?
Did you see the Dredd movie?
I saw the new one.
Yeah, Carl Urban.
It was all right.
I thought it was cool.
It was
I think it's a graphic novel too.
It is.
I could be wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they took that, which is a premise in itself, and they put vampires in it for some reason. So, I think it ends up at the game exactly the game you think it would be.
And they put vampires in it for some reason. Yeah, it's weird, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And so So keep your eye out for those videos because they're gonna be really fun. Josh is editing them. He's spearheading that whole thing. It's gonna be lit. Now we have gotten into some very weird projects lately too. Like we just, or at least I was working on a song just before we came here, which is actually going to be the beat for a song that the Caddy McAuliffe, Rebellious One Photo, who we've had on the show before, has done some shoots for us. She's gonna be rapping over, which is crazy.
Does she have any background? Has she done a track before?
She's just gonna go in.
All right,
Yeah.
I admire that.
Feat her little sister, and
Really?
writing. Yeah. And
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna be just a grab bag of.
I'm very interested to see how this turns out.
Me too. There's a lot of people involved. Myself and Ryan Flynn were making the. Who you heard before the show started? His song.
Ooh, we're doing a video for that too, which should be interesting.
Yeah, we were just talking about doing a music video for Sun Magic with him, which is gonna be awesome. And we're also going to be doing a photo shoot with Danny Yates, who we've had on the show.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, because Danny Yates just came out with a new single that he's mastering it. It's pretty much done, and it's super fire, dude. Like I heard it and I was like, we got to get on this. I want to work with this song because he also played a very infantile state of it in our music class a few weeks ago, and everyone in the class for like 15 minutes straight, because Tice wasn't coming in for some reason because he was late, was just rapping over the beat.
Oh, was that what that was?
Yeah, it was his beat.
It was honestly crazy.
It was just full on cypher status, like in that room, and everybody was just hopping on.
What does a cypher actually mean?
It's pretty much. I'll probably butcher it. I mean, you guys do have computers to Google, but
I want to hear your definition.
But I think it's pretty much the premise is a bunch of people get together, a very large group, both spectators and performers alike, and kind of gather around, and then everybody kind of freestyle raps over some beats, and it's just this kind of it's sometimes in a more competitive flavor, where you're kind of rapping at each other to see who's got the best bars, who has the best flow, and things like that. It wasn't as much like that, although there was an air of it. Everyone who was starting to come on the beat was like testing the waters and seeing. You're watching for reactions of like the intention is you want the crowd to go crazy. You want them to go off at like your delivery of like some sick verse and some sick lines. So you're kind of watching for the reaction of that. And when everybody's like, oh, then you're on to something. So it's a really interesting like environment to be in, of this. Everyone's kind of on the same page of you're judging it and you're experiencing it and it's happening, and it's kind of like an open forum kind of thing. It's really cool.
You nailed it.
It was Danny's beat.
And it was Danny's beat.
I like what you said. That's the test. You know, if you're working on something and then that happens.
Yeah, I said that before. Yeah, before I heard the new version of the song, I was like, he really did pass the test though for a rap beat. You know, if you start playing, it was honestly like 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, it's no exaggeration. And it wasn't a thing like he was playing it for that. He was just playing it for like one of us to listen to. And he just had it on at like a lower volume. And then like somebody in front of us was starting to hear it. And then he was like, ooh, and he started like bobbing his head. And then he starts like rapping a little to it, like doing a little like joke thing. And then Danny starts turning it up so the whole room can hear. And then it just turned into like a full-on thing. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the ultimate test. You know, if everyone's like drawn to that beat and wants to like just start spitting on it, like that's how you know.
I'm not. How long has he actually been making or working with that kind of software and like that kind of music?
This semester, I think it was just this class, which is awesome.
Yeah, he's musically inclined.
Yeah,
beforehand.
absolutely. And he's been writing songs and all that.
Yeah, he writes songs and stuff. He's dabbled in some band stuff. Local people I went to high school with. I remember watching them perform. I think for a talent show, it was very funny.
In a good way? Or?
Yeah, it wasn't like a train wreck kind of bad way, but it was just like, you know,
like a poorly edited podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Of like kind of awkward, like because they're not like none of those guys, including Danny. I'm sure it's not a secret. Are like the most suave, you know, of music.
Were you watching the show and you're like, this would be a great podcast?
Yeah, 5 years ago when I was seeing him in high school. Yeah, I was no.
On that note, we're gonna go to break. I don't know if Chandler will be here on the way back.
I won't.
All right. Well, that's the wrong button. My bad. All right. And
nice, dude.
Why won't? Okay. Everything's going wrong. I'll be right back.
Oh man, what's going on? Yeah, I'll pull the punches so I don't, get court-martialed. Right. I mean, if you want, it'd be great material.
And we're back.
And
we have a guest.
During that wonderful commercial break, our special guest has joined us finally after being I don't know where you were, dude, but you can introduce yourself.
Been on the road.
You drive here from base?
Yeah, I did straight from base. I didn't stop. Didn't stop for a single Sheets or Wawa. It was
wow.
It was great. I started to sweat every time I passed one, but it was great. But
who are you?
My name's Andrew. I'm visiting back from the military. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for finally being here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's great. Hey,
Thanks
man.
for eventually coming.
Dude, I broke every speed law on the way here. That's my confession.
And his license plate number is LPT.
Do with that what you will. Yeah.
My life is in your hands.
So I'm new to the whole radio studio thing. Everyone said I don't have to wear these headphones. Yeah, and now everyone's wearing the headphones.
Well, it's because we like to wear them because sometimes we like to hear our levels, you know, and how we sound. But you don't have to do that.
Yeah,
you actually sound really good.
You
okay,
sound great.
Well, that's all on you anyway.
Got the golden voice.
It's an exclusion thing.
We just want to single you out for sure.
That's fine. That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good deal.
I like to make sure you're not comfortable.
It's working. This is
So where are you on leave from? Where have you come from? Where were you previously? If you can. Top secret.
Well, going out on a limb here, I might as well. I'm coming from San Diego over the Point Loma base. There's an entire just section of San Diego called Point Loma. It's on the shirt for
all the listeners.
For all the listeners out there, it's on the shirt. You might be wondering, stop me in the street going, you're not from Point Loma. And I'll go, might be right.
You're just a fanboy. A Point Loma fanboy.
Yeah.
I just love Point Loma. I can't get enough.
I've been there once. Every week on my Insta, take me back. That's all you see. It's just me on the beach. Take me back.
Oh, that's Point Loma. Okay.
That's Point Loma. That's the one. Take me back.
So how has it been? I know that so essentially you just graduated high school a few years ago, right?
Roughly
you graduated 2015, and it seems like in a very short amount of time, you're now, I mean, I'm sure you didn't see yourself being enlisted, stationed at a military base 2 years from then when you were graduating. So has it been like a weird, like what was a little snapshot of that journey like after high school and then leading up to all that kind of led you into the path that you're in?
Well, a lot of things that have happened to me since high school and even during high school, I always said I'd never do. I wasn't a very outgoing social butterfly. So every time I said like, oh, I'm never going to, be on stage, I'm never going to do this or that, I always ended up doing it. So now I'm just kind of jinxing myself with really good things. But so yeah, after high school, I was like, oh, I'd never join the military. That's that's not for me. I was like, I'll just go to school, get a job, I'll live comfortably. Little did I know that that required a little more work than I initially anticipated. So so right when I realized what I was doing and what I had to do, I was already a little too far off track. So I decided, instead of starting over and having to go through all that again, I just decided to join and see where it took me. And it's going well. It's going well. It seems to be taking me pretty far west so far.
Took you all the way to Point Loma.
All the way west, if you will.
Not stopping. Yep.
Just gotta keep going west. See where you have the mentality of like gold rushers, but it's 2018, so it's a little late. But
it's too late. There's no more gold.
But you hit the coast, and you're like, I can't go any more west.
Oh, you can. I can.
Well, you're in the Navy, so you can get on a ship and just keep going west.
They're gonna put me on a plane, send me to Hawaii pretty soon.
Yeah,
so
dude, that's further west.
That's further west.
I'm gonna go so far west, they're gonna call it east.
Yeah.
But you're actually getting stationed in Hawaii after A school, aren't you?
Yes. Actually, I'm finished A school. It's C schools. Went straight to C. Skipped
at
B.
The C.
Yeah.
Nice.
What is A school?
A school's like it's like a technical school. Like you pick your job in the Navy, and then they kind of send you to the classes so you know what you're doing with that job. So there are different ones across the country that you can go and learn different things about what you're going to be doing on the ship. But that's just like for like the technical skills. You don't really for ship life itself. It's kind of you go there and someone tells you and you kind of do some hands-on stuff to learn. I think that's the best, because if I read a book about everything to do on a ship and how to do it, I would just flounder like crazy and
flounder.
And yeah, it would be a disaster.
There's a lot of ship ethics, ship tactics, if you will. But so what's your spec? What did you spec into for the Navy?
Well, I put a lot of points in the hearing, so my rate is a sonar tech STG. That is not to be mistaken with STS for all the two people who I guess they read into it. They know what the different rates are, because I'll tell you what, I didn't even know.
Oh, you just picked a job.
Yeah. Well,
you just closed your eyes and you just put your finger on it.
I know everything had like a different acronym that sometimes didn't stand for what the actual phrase was.
Did you pick your rate by a cool acronym, or was that a secondary criteria?
Did you read about the build on a forum and then that appealed to you? Like,
see how well it does in PvP.
Was it one of the lower cost ones? You didn't have to grind too much for it?
It was something I was already kind of spec'd into. I didn't really have to switch it up all too much.
So like it fits your play style.
Right.
It was like a subclass kind of thing?
It does. I really sunk in well, so to say. I didn't really have to. I got to keep all my armor and all the.
How well do you do during questing? Because I'm more of a questing kind of. I'm not. PvE is where I'm at.
Well, questing right now, I'm doing kind of the beginner stuff. It hasn't really picked up yet. You know, I really haven't seen the PvE side to it, let alone the PvP. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get there, but.
Is it one of the like Final Fantasy tutorials that takes like 13 hours?
It's a couple months actually.
Wow, very long tutorial for the Navy. Yeah,
it's good though. It's
Josh is
Josh has to depart because he has to go to work. Bye, Grandpa. Uncle Grandpa Josh.
Man, that's the family.
Oh.
He did. He almost tripped as he left the room.
Josh is alright. It's fine.
Well, we just keep all of his equipment.
I hope his camera's okay.
Well, it's his. So
I just need the footage.
Yeah. Well,
as long as the SD card survived, right?
So, oh man.
Did anybody restart that camera?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Don't worry about it. I got it.
Stop talking.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So, how was basic then? How was that long tutorial? Was that as bad as?
Well,
because you hear basic training, you hear boot camp, and that sounds terrifying. It sounds awful. It sounds like pain and hardship. Is that a little bit of how it was, or was it not as bad?
You got to look at it through a couple different lenses, I guess. when you're going to like the meetings before you leave, like at the recruiting office, they kind of tell you, hey, watch the Faces of Navy boot camp video, and like, oh, that'll really get you prepped and ready to go in the mindset. And in the video itself, they're like, you're gonna feel like you made a very terrible mistake your first couple of weeks there, and that's true because you're there and you're sleeping in your rack and you're like, oh man, this kind of sucks. I just want to go home. I don't know anyone. My back hurts because there's no support. But you
mean moral support?
Any kind of, I meant lumbar in that situation. But yes, moral support. So yeah,
So
you're just
sitting
kind
in your
of
bunk. You're like, I wish I had some lumbar right now, man.
No, you have a lumbar. No, Patrick.
What?
You have a
Run that by me again.
So you're a nurse. Didn't you originally want to go for medic?
Yes,
You wanted to be a corpsman. Yeah.
Well, I guess they have too many corpsmen because when you go to the office to sign your contract, you're like, oh, I want to be a corpsman, and they're like, oh, no.
The matchmaking time's so high for that one.
Like,
Yeah,
So many
they
of
can't find lobbies very easily.
Yeah, that's like I guess specking as a DPS and going, but can I get in any dungeons? You know? It's like, yeah, you and every other DPS and their mother, I guess. So
Well, in this case, it's a healer. You'd be playing full healer.
everyone loves playing healer, though, I guess.
No, that's wrong. You
Wow,
never get
really?
the recognition.
You know what? There are some games
Guess how
support's
many war
fun.
heroes there are who are like medics? Very few.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Nobody cares. Oh, well,
You can read about some. They're out there.
like, okay. You don't hear about any Civil War medics because they all just died. They all just died from their injuries.
Well, so did
pretty
most of the people in Civil War. So
much. Just most people in general.
How was
were
medicine
involved.
doing back in the Civil War?
Very
That's-
bad.
They were cutting off wounds
You
for
fan
like
of
a
amputations?
graze. So
It's like, ooh, let's turn in something other than skin color. That's
we
gonna
gotta
have
lop
to
that
go.
off. I'm sorry. Bite down on this.
Ooh, you're hurt. Don't know what to do about that. Just lay here until you maybe get better.
Who's the lady who like founded the Red Cross and was like, she had some like huge advancement in medicine. It was like keeping it clean. That was it. It was like,
Dressing the wound.
turns out rubbing dirt in it doesn't help.
What is her name? Google that.
I'm on it.
We should all know her name.
Oh,
She's a
Clara
hero.
Barton.
Clara Barton.
We got
Shout out to
Google going
you,
on over
Clara
there.
Barton, if you're listening.
Here's to you, Clara Barton.
If you or someone you know knows Clara Barton, shout out to you. Hey, I'll help you Google things here. This is great.
Oh,
Is that-
wow.
yes.
Well, that's
Wow, that's more than any of our guests have done for us.
Hey man, I'm just trying to earn my keep. I'm trying to.
You gotta make it for lost time.
you're hired. So you actually went to LTRC though, briefly.
Yeah, for a good 2 years.
All right, that's pretty brief.
It was a good time. It was for initially computer science. Realized wasn't for me. After a brief intro to C++, I was like, ooh, that did not go as expected. So I switched over to computer networking, and then after 3 semesters of that, I was like, also not what I want to do. And then I faced the pay for college and go for nursing, and that's another how many years, however fast I wanted to do that. That's like a you have to work hard to make it go fast. And I was like,
Yeah, the
I was
medical
like,
field's challenging.
where I was at, I was like, not for me. So
But you did work in the medical field briefly. Not briefly.
I worked in an ER as a emergency department tech. That was pretty fun.
Hey, where was that hospital?
It was over. It's over in Coaldale, St. Luke's.
That's the most Pennsylvania name for
Yeah.
a town ever.
Coaldale, yeah.
We got all
I
kinds
wonder
of
what
coal
their top
towns out here.
export was that helped found that town. Natural,
makes you
natural
wonder.
gas.
I was gonna make that joke.
Yeah. So how was that? Were you working in that field, and that's what made you decide you didn't want to go medical? Was it because of like the?
No,
things?
I do want to go medical.
Oh, still to this day.
Yes. That's. I was at the point where I was like, I don't really want to go back to square one with college again because I was just there. I don't really want to go back. So I was like, I kind of weighed my options. I didn't like how I was just living at home, living paycheck to paycheck. So I was like, I'll go somewhere.
See the world, travel the world.
Nope, not what I had in mind, but I guess I get to anyway. So
You're like one of the few. You're like one of the few people I think I've talked to that joined the military that didn't want to travel very far. That's why you That's why you joined the reserves or like
go
the
with it.
National Guard.
oof.
Oof.
You wouldn't see Point Loma in the National Guard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd see the
just see
Mexican border in the National Guard
Georgia.
It's true.
this time of year. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to a break quick.
No way.
On that, what? Want to fight about it?
Permission to go to a break.
You want to bet if we're gonna?
We'll
go
be
to a
right
break?
back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
We all have to say.
Glad to be back, everybody.
You blew it. That's not on script.
Let's start over.
All right, we're going to
Take
break
it from
for
the
another
top.
3
Segment
seconds.
1. We're going.
And we're going on breaking it.
So I don't think we actually said what a sonar tech does. So really quick, what's a little snippet of what you do?
They're like the ears on the water, so to say. They listen for things that aren't good to be there. Let's say that's like a submarine, or like maybe you can hear another ship off in the distance. Sometimes just crabs screaming and whales. Crabs, they make a noise.
And
It's
you
like
can
a
hear
scream.
that with your Navy ears.
With my special issue Navy ears. Yes.
Crazy. Crabs make noise. Who knew?
When you boil them, I knew they screamed when you boiled them. Now I'm hungry for.
That makes
Yeah, screaming in pain.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
What's the room service like
delicious.
around here? Do you guys get room service in this one?
At the station?
Hey, Chris, can I get another cup of coffee?
Yeah, I'm under the impression hearing underwater not so good.
It's not even
So how do
possible,
you
I think.
make that happen?
Well, sound actually travels faster in water.
Really?
Fun fact.
Do you have any more fun facts that you've learned being a sonar tech?
Sound travels faster, even more so in steel and metal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Tell
That's
us more.
metal.
There's a lot more energy it requires to get the sound. Oh, there we go. That's it right there.
That's
you
steel
see
right now.
That's
To make the noise, you had to give it the hearty old smack right there. But yep, it takes a lot more energy to get sound into a medium. But once it's there, just goes.
how does that work?
Like you're talking right now.
Okay.
Feels like a pretty easy process, right? Right. But if you shout, you can't really, like, if you're far enough away, you won't really hear them, right?
If I'm shouting?
Yeah. If you're shouting and someone's a distance away, they can't hear you. You're like, oh, why is that?
true.
You know,
That's true.
it's because you.
But if I was talking a normal volume and they were a distance away, they also wouldn't be able to
Believe it
hear
or not, someone's shouting in the world right now and we can't hear him.
me. Really sorry. Shout out to whoever that.
Shout out to Shout.
There it is. Is that the?
It's the bad joke,
Is
though.
it? Oh, it's the bad joke bell. Why did I get one?
You haven't done it yet.
No, it was Pat. He said that's metal when you said.
No, I said that's metal.
Somebody, I don't know.
Don't credit him for my joke. You're fired.
It's a bad joke. You should make. You should.
You're
just- yeah.
right. You're right. Pat, bad joke, dude. Do better.
I'll take it.
So
That's strike 2.
You bought 3
Almost out of here,
strikes. You
man.
know, you're out.
That's a storm joke.
And then nobody's broke. That's a really old one. Are you Storm?
Throwback. Throwback Thursday. The storm.
Throwback. You actually met Storm.
I did.
You met Storm. We
pretty cool
hung
dude.
out with Storm, all of us, that was the day me and him met. And
Really?
we were talking, and I was like, we just couldn't stop talking to each other. So I was like, do you just want to, I'm going to hang out with my friends. Do you just want to come with me, I guess? Because you're going that way anyway. He's like, sure. And that was the first day we even started hanging out.
There you go.
And then the rest is history.
And after that, we just kind of interrupted your streams, and
Yep.
we're like, Storm's there. What's going on? That's why you're not talking.
Yeah, you would jump on my streams and you'd be like, well, it's because you're talking to Storm. That's why you're not talking to us. This
Honey-
little feud.
Huh? You don't want to play Trove or Arma because you're talking to Storm? Wow. Just tell Storm to get on Arma, dude.
You get to play Arma in real life now.
This is Arma 4, yes?
Arma
Yep.
4,
Arma
the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
How are the mods for Arma 4?
I haven't really, like, they're all already there, so you kind of, it's like when you start off playing Skyrim, but you already have mods installed, you don't really know what's supposed to be there, what's not. So, yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot you have to read up on. The wiki's pretty expansive, so you have to kind of
I've heard.
Right.
Yeah.
really sink your teeth into it. It's a lot going on.
So you used to be in plays. You're very interested in the arts, the fine arts.
Wait, I want to ask a question. Did you come on here planning to make as many sink and ocean jokes as possible?
That wasn't even intentional, I'm not
You've
gonna
made
lie.
like 3 so far.
He's got water on the brain.
Yeah.
Little operation reference for you.
Water on the brain. Yep, you spill a glass of water, it gets on your brain just like that.
We've all gotten a glass of water spilled on our
This
heads.
happens when it's in your ear and it goes away. That's where it goes.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten
Right to the
swimmer's
brain.
ear? Do you get swimmer's? See, I feel like that's the biggest injury you can sustain in the Navy is swimmer's ear.
Did you ever heard of drowning?
Yeah, it's a huge water injury right there.
Crowd goes wild.
No, someone. Oh man, my friends keep telling me, oh, it'd be really ironic if you drowned, and I was like,
where else would it happen?
I was like, what else? I was like, would I starve to death on a ship? I was like, how does that happen? I was like, yeah, there's just you're on one platform surrounded by open water for miles, and it's like, that'd be so ironic, right? It's like they told me, oh, you could just swim. I was like, you can't swim for
forever.
days on end. I was like, have you ever, like, you can't just swim from California to Japan in a day. I was like, that doesn't happen.
You can?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
You can just life of pi it and
You
just
need a boat for that.
get on a little raft, a little boy
How
raft.
How many tigers are there in the Navy? Rough estimate.
We don't have tigers, but there's a couple dolphins.
You have like,
Actual
are they like weaponized?
as dolphins.
Can't answer that.
Top secret. Does that mean you can talk to the dolphins? Because they communicate with sonar?
Ooh.
I can hear them.
You can hear what they're
can
saying
hear them.
now. Have they trained you in their language, or is that like
No,
a later
it's
thing?
like the dragon language. I just don't feel like reading it. To be honest. Yeah, like there's a bunch of symbolism. I don't
all the
bother.
dragon shouts?
It's like when you want to learn like Russian or Chinese, you're like, these are just different letters. I don't want to do that. I already know the alphabet. You know,
I don't want an alternate alphabet for my current alphabet.
just give me the same alphabet, please.
So you're interested in the fine arts?
So you're interested in fine arts? How you were in drama? We went to high school together, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you were in like every play that I saw. I always came out.
You've only seen 3 plays then.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I've seen them all.
All of them, all 3.
All 3 of them. How was that? So you were interested in theater. You were scared of being on stage.
Yeah.
Conquered that fear.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, it was great.
And then you performed in other productions as well.
After high school, I did a few.
How many? What were they?
Maybe 4.
Really? I didn't know it was that many.
There were a couple, like, they also involved like children, so I didn't really invite my friends because it was like,
I didn't know. Oh, that's why you didn't tell us.
well, because it was like for the parents thing, you know. So I didn't want to just invite a bunch of people like you down there to cause a ruckus. So
I'm a child.
Yeah.
At heart.
But no, it was fun. I started off in stage crew because I wanted to be involved. I think there was something that made me do it. Like there was something, I think it was like the National Junior Honor Society. They required, yeah, throwback to
You were in that?
middle school. I tried being in it for a little bit, but something required me to be in some extracurricular activities. So I was like, I'll do stage crew because I was like, well, what do they possibly do in stage crew? Didn't really read into it all too much.
A lot.
So I show up and they're like, you're gonna paint and build things, and I was like, ooh. So I did that for a while, and then it's always fun to show that because then like you got the headsets on, the microphones, and you're being told what to do, where to go, trying to make the stage all pretty, and it was that was really exciting. I was a little too young to be as into it as everyone else. Everyone else was kind of like older into it, and then like you don't really get the same recognition. It's kind of a thankless job.
It is.
At least I know some productions, they bring out the stage crew and they're like, look how great they did, but then you're like, now who's doing the curtains and the lights? You're all out on stage now, you're giving them a bow. Like, that's weird. But they didn't do that at my high school, or actually in any show after the fact. I guess they
don't care.
We really have a stage crew actually in future productions after high school, at least. So
Yeah.
So I eventually, I was like, I'm not really digging the stage crew thing, but I still wanted to be in drama club. So I was like, I'll go out for a role next year. That was my 11th grade year, and I got like a little supporting role. I had like my own name, and I had a song on one song, but then I was ensemble for the rest of it. That was pretty fun. It was like the Ugly Duckling musical. They make a musical about anything. It's great. And
So you weren't the ugly duckling then?
No,
Were you the better looking
I'm too
duckling?
beautiful. Yeah. So I played a goose. I actually played a goose, a military goose.
You did.
Funny enough.
With an accent.
Well, let's not bring that up.
It was a bad
It
accent.
was a terrible accent.
Was it supposed to be New Zealand?
It's supposed to be British.
Oh no!
But you know how many like British people I know in real life?
None.
Yeah, exactly 0 actually.
Not a very good
round old 0. Yeah, so it was atrocious. Like, I'm surprised they let me go on with that. No one pulled me aside and went, "Do you want to like practice?" They were just like, they're like, whatever he's doing is great. They were gonna let him do that.
Do you want to maybe do better or? So what was like your favorite production that you've done?
I love doing the Crucible. My senior year, that was so fun. I played Reverend Paris. I got to get all mad and angry and like.
That's a pretty big role.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
You did great. The Crucible is still to this day my favorite play our high school did.
Also, really weird historical event.
Yeah. The Crucible from Destiny.
It happens.
Very weird.
It happens.
It happens.
Can't relate. Didn't play Destiny, so.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Wait, are you talking about the McCarthy trials, or are you just talking about... Because that's what it's based off. They're both
Salem
awful.
Witch trials?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
Salem Witch
that's
trials
right.
were based on the McCarthy trials.
Which is based on the Crucible. Full circle.
I thought for sure you would have said Rent.
Nah, Rent was fun. It was just a little. I mean, it was a drive. I had to drive to like 30 minutes to Pottsville every day, and then like they were just really like jerking me around every direction. Like, do this, do that, wear this, bring this next time.
Shave your legs, you know.
Shave my
it's
legs.
like all
Didn't even have to do that. They made me wear pants the whole time. So they waxed my legs for nothing. Did you were there? You saw it. They made a whole day. We went out and bought like wax strips. Like, oh, we got to do this, or else you're gonna look hideous. You're gonna look absolutely disgusting with your
hairy legs.
You want to
gorilla
go on
legs.
stage with hair? Are you crazy?
No, gorilla legs is a good way to put it. It is unsightly at best.
That's why you'll never catch me wearing shorts. Never.
All right, I believe.
I mean, I just don't. I also don't buy shorts.
That's a good reason.
That's one way to do it.
It is.
No wear shorts.
Checks out.
So, yeah, they had me wax my legs. They're like, oh, this is great, and I wore leggings the whole time because I had to wear cheek pads because I was flat.
You were Angel, weren't you?
Yes. I played Angel.
Yeah.
And I was too my figure was too flat, so they made me
They had to pump you up.
they made me stuff my pants. So, hey man,
On that note, we're going to a break.
movie magic,
Movie magic.
movie magic.
We'll be right back.
Your mic is covered in lint. That is true.
It's also live.
Mine's
Did you
covered.
zoom in on that?
Mine's covered in hair. So you get the lint, I get the hair.
Mine's got pen on it somehow.
Pen.
Well, you know where hair comes from, like your head, man. So I mean, where's all this lint come from?
That's when you wax your legs.
It could have.
Yeah.
Could have fallen off the wall. Could have.
Actually, the last guest we had on, it hasn't aired yet, but it was a fleece blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it that cold in here?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No,
like the
it gets
opposite.
roasting hot in here, actually.
Man, I just love sweating. I'll bring a fleece blanket in. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Wait, this window's
I'm
open.
not like trash talking. This is like
First time.
I've never.
You're not trash talking heat or
Yeah.
blankets.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very wide demographic for people like those.
I guess.
So we're gonna play a game.
It's called,
We're going to play a game called Onion or Not the Onion. We haven't done this in a while.
thankfully.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming we all know what The Onion is, but really quick, if you don't, The Onion is a satirical news website that comes up with silly stories. So how this is going to work is I'm going to read a headline, and everyone is going to get a chance to guess whether or not it is The Onion or not The Onion. All right? Any questions?
No.
No.
What is the game?
Oh, Zach forgot the guest's name.
Good.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so first headline. Roofer arrested after taking back roof from homeowner. Chandler, Onion or not The Onion?
That's not The Onion.
Andrew,
I'm gonna have to go with not the onion.
Pat,
I believe that. I'm gonna say not the Onion.
that is not The Onion.
Why?
Yeah, so according to an arrest warrant, deputies went to a home in Monroe on December 29th, 2016 in reference to property damage complaint. The victim said that this person had agreed to replace her roof in June and that he would wait for payment until her insurance issued a check. But in mid-December, she said that this person started asking for the full amount and said that if she wouldn't pay it, then he would take the roof down. And he took the roof down on December
hilarious.
22nd.
And he was arrested for that?
Yes.
Why?
How hard is it to stop someone from going on your roof?
It sounds like he had the right.
Well, I see, and then it rained and caused $11,000 worth of damage.
Oh.
So that's cool.
That's not as funny.
Who? Oh, I lost the question. But who? What kind of damage? Is it like a home or like? Is it just that individual's
roof?
home? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does
What else
anyone
would
care?
be roof? The doghouse?
Well, why does anyone care what damage is done? It's just like that's your own fault, pal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Is it like unsightly to
Make
have
your
a
own roof next time.
Yeah.
I just find the articles, man. All right, I don't know. I really don't know.
What are roof laws in that municipality
I don't know.
specifically?
Pat, can you get on that?
All right.
It's in Monroe.
Is that talking about Monroe County?
It could be. I don't know. I don't
It's
actually
very
know.
vague.
Yeah. So a fall from grace. Gatorade sales have plummeted after a French food critic gave Cool Blue a bad review.
I'm going to say that's the Onion.
I'm gonna go not the Onion.
Pat?
I'll say the Onion.
It's the Onion.
What's this?
Cool Blue's the best flavor. Like,
I don't know, but from the
No, it isn't.
so this is just a bit of the review that this person fake wrote. From the moment Cool Blue Gatorade struck my tongue, I could tell that I had boarded a ship without a captain in a turbulent sea. This insipid beverage fails to do justice to the color blue.
I'm not a very big fan of Cool Blue Gatorade.
really?
So, yeah.
What kind of Gatorade flavor are you then?
You know what? I've been really into what is in my bag? It's like strawberry
Kiwi.
Strawberry
right?
kiwi.
It's
I
the
think.
lighter.
Yeah,
red
the
one?
lighter red one. Yeah. It's really good, dude. Try it.
All right.
See,
Right now.
red would be the best, but it gives you that little devil's horn mustache, and
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that every morning. So it's gotta go.
Pat, did you say it was the Onion or not the Onion?
I said whatever the right one was.
Okay. It's
He
as
just
easy as
remembers
that,
the good
folks.
feeling he
believe
got of being right.
I did say the Onion.
All right. FBI fugitive with dork tattooed on his neck. The FBI. Oh, sorry. Never mind. Let me review it.
right.
FBI seeking fugitive with dork tattooed on his neck. Onion or not the Onion, Chandler?
I'm gonna say it's not the Onion.
Yeah, that sounds too real. That's not the Onion.
That sounds real to me.
Jeez, I thought this one would get you. That's not the Onion.
I've seen worse
Well,
tattoos.
why?
Sean, his name is Sean Frederick Weatherhead, described as being transient with ties. I don't actually know who these people are. Anyway, he made lots of threats against the FBI. Apparently, he called over 1,000 times
It's
Since
not what you want
December.
to do.
since December 2015.
It's
Very-
one of the last people. you
Very
wanna do
destructive hobby.
Yeah.
Phone bills through the roof.
His jail bill is gonna
The
be
jail
through the
time's
roof.
also through the roof.
All right. So everyone got that right. The next one, hacker fixes a few typos on company website before stealing data.
That's not the Onion.
I'm gonna say it's not the Onion. That sounds like something I would do.
I'm gonna play the underdog here. That's the Onion.
That's actually,
oh.
that is the Onion.
No.
That means it's a tied game all across the board, and we only have one more left.
Winner owns the
This is
rights
scary.
to this show.
Yep, that's right.
You can have
Taking
it if
it
you
home.
want.
Yeah,
No,
you
it's
just, yeah, you
fine.
just have it.
Oh,
This is your job then.
it's a burden. Oh.
Yeah, you don't know the half of it. Upstate New York Police Department, fed up with snow, charges Winter with loitering.
That's not the Onion.
It better not be the Onion because winter's done. It's out of here. Get it out of here. I
It's
don't want
supposed
it.
to snow tomorrow.
I know.
I'm gonna give that one to the Onion.
That is not the Onion. So Pat and Chandler
No.
win.
We both get the podcast.
No, hey, nothing
Fist fight
has
tiebreaker.
changed. Yay.
Whoa. Oh.
They made a Facebook post. Dear Winter, you are hereby placed under arrest. You have the right to remain silent and out of sight, but apparently not the ability. Any further snow you produce will be held against you in the court of law. And you have a right to an attorney, but only if you turn in the groundhog that predicted 6 more weeks of winter. If you're willing to work with us, we are willing to look past your most recent transgressions over the course of this past week. The choice is yours.
You know no one cares about Groundhog Day outside of Pennsylvania?
Almost definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Why would they?
I don't know.
It's a stupid
It's just the
thing.
thing growing up around here where it's like, yeah, it's Groundhog
Yeah,
Day.
yeah, but if you
February
say that,
2nd.
everyone's like,
You mean the Bill Murray movie?
exactly.
It's like giving a tug on the wishbone. Like, does no one else do that? Like,
Is that also not a?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ever since I moved out of Pennsylvania, I haven't heard a peep about the wishbone.
That's really messed up.
What's the status on the wishbone out there?
Yeah,
I'm looking. Don't worry.
Give us some cool wishbone facts.
What's the wishbone life out there like?
Wishbone facts. The wishbone is actually called the furcula. It's a part of the bone that is formed at the fusion of the clavicles. It's Latin for little fork.
Wishbone or the word?
Yeah, but what's the status?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
It was worded.
Is there like a heat map of the U.S. of
Breaking
like
the wishbone is not an American thing.
Oh,
Why have I been doing it?
English settlers brought the tradition with them to America. And there's also apparently a strategy.
yeah, there is. It's the
Use your
thumb.
dominant hand to yank the bone. Make sure the hand is completely dry. Use proper placement of your thumb and forefinger. Not as simple as hold and pull. In order to make your wish come true, you need to do it right. For a little extra leverage, try grabbing the wishbone closer to the center. This is from bustle.com.
Not the onion.
No, but you're right. Bustle.com.
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 Well, now we got all those wishbone facts, and you can you can take your wishbone game to the next level.
Make some turkeys.
Well, turkey isn't that great, so I don't know about that.
Really?
Yeah, but you'll get more wishbones.
It's really
Then
dry.
you can wish for a meat you prefer.
Oh, that's very good.
I just picture out back now a dumpster full of like poultry and just one of the wishbone. So you throw the rest of it out.
The rest, yeah, I don't need it.
I don't want turkey. I just wanted the wishbone, please. walk into the Weiss's, just be like, do you guys carry like a bag just full of wishbones?
I have a lot of wishes. I have a lot of aspirations. Yes, I'll have the wishbones.
Would you like that with?
I'm doing it. Yeah, you can go too if you want.
Not sure if I should anymore.
All right.
That one was predicted to be bad. I don't know if I can.
The forecast was not favorable for that joke. So how was Ready Player One, Andrew? I told you to go see it.
Loved it.
Preparation.
Loved it.
Good. What was your favorite part?
At least they told you to go see it.
Yeah, that was my homework. I'm not. You know what?
No, go for it. What was your favorite part, dude?
My favorite part was when you press start to begin the game.
It's a good part.
Also, I saw the Iron Giant and it made me cry because I remember the part where he flew into the missile. It was really scary.
Isn't the entire point of it was voiced by Vin Diesel?
I did.
Mark Sinclair.
The Iron Giant?
Mark. Hey, it's Mark Sinclair.
That's Vin Diesel's actual name.
The OG VHS movie Iron Giant was voiced by who
He's
again?
the king of
Vin Diesel.
That was such a career fire starter right there. He's been on the up since the Iron Giant.
He's locked down all those like one word roles. Like he's got Groot. He's got the Iron Giant.
Wow, you're right.
He was in Fast and Furious. I never watched those movies, but
Yeah, a few times, once or twice.
Do you think when they were advertising the first Fast and Furious, they're like,
We got the Iron Giant.
from the voice actor who brought you the Iron Giant?
I don't think that was this. All right,
Isn't the point of the Iron Giant that he doesn't want to be a weapon?
but he is a giant weapon.
And then in the movie Ready Player One, he lasers a bunch of people with his eyes.
Yeah, really missed the mark
That's just
there.
contradictory.
Fall from grace. Wow.
Yeah, I think my general verdict of Ready Player One is that it is. You watch it once and then you're like, that's cool. I remember all the stuff that's in that. I remember that, and then you forget about it the next day.
It seems like you'd go in with like a note, or you're just going with like a mental counter of how many references you can catch.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like that kind of movie.
I try not to do that and just tried to watch it. It was a good popcorn movie. You know, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah,
It wasn't like a cool like go back watch it again like story like ooh I can catch that's gonna happen now.
No.
I'm like
No.
oh.
And you would even think that with all the stuff that's packed into some of those scenes and all the references they make, that it would be worth giving another watch to see if you missed anything. And like, I'm sure you could pick other stuff out that you didn't see the first time. But is the movie good enough to actually sit through that? No, not really.
Isn't it number one right now? I saw some.
It doesn't take much these days.
Saw some
It's in
buzz
the
flying.
title, so.
Oh,
true.
Ready number one.
Yep.
Ready number one movie of April.
That's a good idea.
It's not saying much. It's April.
That is a great movie or idea for a movie where we just name it like number one movie of that month.
Oh, wow.
It's like The Greatest Showman. Like subjective. That's subjective right there.
Did you say that just because we saw The Greatest Showman yesterday and we were talking about it?
You saw The Greatest Showman yesterday.
I know. I was talking about we.
Oh,
me
did
and
Chandler
Lizzie.
not invite you to a movie too?
Yeah. You're busy.
I got some big and upcoming things going on here,
like fighting for our country.
Like sonar.
No, I'm on leave. I don't know what I'm doing.
Any final words? we gotta wrap.
Any last
close
words?
this soon. Any last words?
From me?
Sounds
In
good.
particular? Yeah.
well,
Great. Hang on.
Think about it. Oh. Is there anything?
That's my gimme right there.
Is there anything you want to plug anywhere you want people to find you, to stalk you
Or
on
find
social
something
media?
that you enjoyed.
Or so, yeah.
I really like how I was still asked about Ready Player One, even though I didn't see it, and you knew I told you I wasn't going to because I don't.
Are you plugging Ready Player One right now?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you don't want to be like me and you want to have a good time at the movies, it's a good just go see it, have a good time kind of movie.
All right, Chandler, do you have anything to plug?
Go to check out all of the new stuff we got coming out. It's just keep an eye on it. 'Cause there's a lot of stuff that's happening. New shows, new ideas, new people, blah. And check me out on Instagram, YouTube, everything. Sly Elliott. Thanks so much.
What's the name of our channel?
The name of our channel is the Poorly Edited Podcast, but it's changing soon to Lab 212 because we're rebranding and expanding.
Big moves.
Big moves.
Go find him on Facebook before you forget the name, because that's how I listen to Chandler when I'm away, and because he doesn't talk to me on Discord anymore.
Oh, that's really
Aw.
cute.
So I lay in my bed with my headphones on, and
You pretend he's talking to you.
I cry.
With your sonar headphones on, you listen to me?
Yeah, my super
The
special.
phone's super far away.
Yeah.
It's one of those little spirally cords that you can pretty much, like one of those that,
For all the audio listeners.
Like a curly fry from Arby's.
yeah, and you can stretch it like 6
Forever.
times its length until the jack just goes, I'm not having it, and flies out of your phone. Yeah.
Zach, you have anything to plug quick?
It was a good whack.
Yeah, follow the Poorly Edited Podcast on either Facebook or Instagram. We always post right before we go live, so if you forget or something, you won't forget. You'll know, and it'll be great, and you can listen and not waste an hour of your life, which is perfect. And then you can also check me out on Instagram, ClapSync. I post every day, or at least almost every single day. It's popping.
It's popping. What about you, Pat? Really quick, I want to wrap off some names because there's some people I do want to shout out that aren't present right now. And people, one of them asked for a shout out. Lamont asked for a shout out. So shout out to Lamont Houston at Valley House Media. He's doing a shoot this weekend. Went super well. Go check them out. Valley House Media. Shout out to Rebellious One Photo, Caddy. She's grinding, doing the photography. It's awesome. Shout out to Lizzie Cates, who is doing videos for us now and
She
just
is,
edit
yeah,
the
it's true.
skit. And shout out to Josh Brennan, Tired Pants Films. Go check him out. Check out his website. He's amazing. He's made us look cool for the last how many months we've been doing this show. And if he can make us look cool, he can make you look cool for sure. So go hit him up if you want photography or filmography or whatever.
I wasn't actually going to shout out Lamont. I just wanted to trick him into listening.
Oh, you're right.
Whatever, it's too late.
Whatever. All right, we're going to goodbye.
All right, we're going to a break for a while until next.